Pokemon Crystal is one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. I remember as a kid playing this game over and over and over and over again and getting excited with it every single time. I also remember beating Team Rocket over and over and over and over again. The Team Rocket grunts have really been beaten up by millions of players all around the world, constantly all over throughout the years, and it's kind of embarrassing to be honest. Well, not today. Today, we're going to attempt to Nuzlocke hardcore Pokemon Crystal as a Team Rocket grunt. As a Team Rocket grunt, there is an article available for which Pokemon are available and which lines we can work with. There are 8 lines in total. Those lines are the Rattata line, Zubat line, Oddish line, Ekans line, Grimer line, Coughing line, Drowsy line, and that thing. Interestingly though, you can't actually catch Grimer or Muck until Kanto. That means for the sake of this journey, we're going to attempt to beat Pokemon Crystal's Johto Elite Four with those 7 lines. Can we do it? Let's hope so. I'm also allowing myself to evolve the lines fully, just because I don't think this challenge is possible if you do not evolve certain lines. This is mostly specific to the Drowsy line, the Oddish line, and the Venonat line, because Rocket Grunts do not use those fully evolved Pokemon. We're following regular Nuzlocke rules where we only get 1 shot at catching the first encounter, which will be the first Rocket Pokemon encounter. Everything gets a nickname and any fainted Pokemon are dead, but hardcore rules, no items in battle, set mode, no leveling past the gym leader or Elite Four ace, and the species clause, we can only use 1 Coughing, only use 1 Ekans, that line, so on and so forth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really like doing these Pokemon challenges, so hopefully this can take off. This is really exciting and really fun to do, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. And I've learned from some of my mistakes from last time, so hopefully we're doing good. Before we start, just want to make a quick plug. This video is going live the morning of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and we're starting off with a 12-hour stream on Twitch for the game. So if you guys want to come join the party and play along with me, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, or just come say hello, or just come socialize, you know what? Come on down to Twitch, and I'll see you there. So we go get a starter that we can't really use. We grab Totodile just to have some HM coverage, and then we get punched in the face by this random orange-haired guy, which is kind of rude, but eventually we find him, beat him, and his name is question mark, question mark, question mark. What a weird name for some parents to give that kid. Regardless, the journey doesn't start until the first route where we actually get Pokeballs and can catch a Rattata, and we call it a rat. Yep, simple naming schemes this time around. After some grinding and showing youngster Joey whose rat is superior, we go to the Dark Cave and catch a Zubat, calling it a bat. We train both of our Pokemon to level 9 to take on Falkner. Literally our only strat right now, because there's nothing else going on, is to try to use Supersonic, keep attacking, and pray we win, and don't have to attempt this so many times. He starts with Pidgey, we start with a bat, we use Supersonic and hit it while Pidgey hits itself. We switch to a rat who takes a tackle, then we use Quick Attack and critical hit it. We take another tackle and then finish off the Pidgey. He brings out Pidgeotto, and we start with a Tail Whip for a defense drop and take a critical gust. Oh, this ain't looking good. Our berry kicks in, but we have to switch to a bat who takes 2 gusts before we hit Supersonic. Thankfully, it did actually hit. We switch back to a rat, and the bird hurts itself in confusion. We use Quick Attack, it uses another gust, bringing us to 4 HP, and then another Quick Attack wins the first badge. That was pretty close to terrible. On the next route, we catch an Ekans and call it a Snack, because it's a snack. We can easily clear through this route, the Union Cave, and the next route, which is very short until we get to Azalea Town, and then we meet this old man who wants us to go to the Slowpoke Well to take on, you guessed it, our co-worker's Team Rocket. He fell down, so we have to do all the hard work. We are the superior grunt and take out our co-workers pretty easily, save the day, and then we head to the gym, grind up our level a little more, and take on Bugsy. We start with a bat, and she starts with Metapod. He starts with Metapod. I have no idea what gender Bugsy is. It's been all these years. Our attacks are seriously weak, so we try to confuse it repeatedly. One day we get it confused, and we just whittle down the Metapod to death between confusion damage and leech life. Next is Kakuna, and it's the same song and dance until it's also dead. By the way, we kept a bat in just to deal with potential poison, because we don't want to get poisoned. Poison Sting only does 1 damage, and leech life heals 1 damage, so it's perfect. Before it's dead though, we switch to Ekans. Finally is Scyther. It uses a Leer, and we use Poison Sting to get the poison. We switch back to a bat and take a Fury Cutter ×2, and we hit Supersonic. It gets a third cutter off, and we bite it. The Scyther hits itself, takes poison damage and a bite, and still survives. It uses Quick Attack for big damage, but dies to poison, giving us the second badge. Before we go forward, question mark meets up with us and wants to tear us to shreds. He starts with Ghastly, we start with a bat. We bite it twice to death. Next is his Zubat, and we confuse it right away. A few bites later, it's also dead. Finally is Bayleaf, we confuse it right away, and it uses Reflect, but we just leech life away anyway, then confuse it, and switch to a Snake to eventually take it out. Pretty easy battle. Who is this guy anyway? Who freaking knows? In the forest, our first encounter is an Oddish, thankfully. We catch it and call it some weed. After getting cut and headbutt, we move on and go to the next route where we find a Drowsy. We catch it and call it Sleepy Boy. We also go to National Park, catch this ugly thing, and call it a bug. We grind a lot, and a rat evolves to Eradicate, and now we gotta talk about Whitney. So anyone that's played Gold, Silver, and Crystal know how scary Whitney's Miltank is. Such a legendary beast. It rolling all over our faces, stomping on our nuts, and drinking milk to keep itself healthy. What an absolute terrifying beast of a cow that has ruined people's days ever since it came out in the 2000s. How are we going to attempt this in a hardcore Nuzlocke? What possible strategy could we invoke to master this battle and take on such a legendary cow? Like, do we got milk? This guy's got milk. What can we do about it? Well, we just use Eradicate and headbutt it away and headbutt Miltank away until it's all over. Yep, that was our best strat and it worked, so that's good. After we make her cry because her cow was destroyed, we get the badge, clear the tree, and grind a little bit while going to Ecruteak City. Now, when we get to Ecruteak City, this is one of those games, Crystal version, where we have to fight the mandatory rival in the Burn Tower. So we go to question mark, and he challenges us to a duel. He starts with Haunter, and we start with a bat. He uses Curse, which does half to itself, and a bite doesn't finish it, which is really unfortunate. We take some Curse damage, get paralyzed off a lick, and then it was truly inappropriate. We kill it with a bite. Magnemite comes out next, so we switch to a Snack, who takes a Thundershock. We taught it Dig, which we found in National Park, so it makes quick work of it. Next is Zubat, and we bite it repeatedly until it dies, and also take some bite damage during the process. Finally is Bayleaf. I switch to some weed and it uses Reflect. It growls at us, and then we put it to sleep. I switch to a bat, and it stays asleep. We then land a Confuse Ray. It wakes up, hurts itself, and we get paralyzed. Yep. While we are constantly getting paralyzed, we keep doing good damage and keep it confused while it can barely hurt the bat. Eventually, we grind it down to death. At the end of the battle, a bat evolves into Golbat. Then our rival gets so angry that he punches the floor and we fall to our death. Just kidding. We do find some lost puppies though, and they run away. But then we need to find our final encounter of the challenge, believe it or not, a Coughing. And we call it Farts. We put a bug in the box because a bug is basically useless and fugly and nobody cares about it. Then we spend lots of time training up to level cap of 25. I really enjoy how in these games, the map kind of opens up at a certain point. Like, we don't even have our 4th gym badge yet, and we're taking on the Kimono Girls, we go all the way up to Lake of Rage and clear all the trainers along the way, and then we go to the Olivine City Lighthouse and clear all the trainers there too. During the grind, some weed evolves into Gloom, and a Snack evolves into Arbok. Pretty good training session. But now that's all done, it's time to take on Morty. He starts with a Ghastly, and I start with a Snack. We kill it with a Dig. Pretty straightforward. Now they don't levitate yet. Same with the following Haunter, pretty easy. Next is Gengar. It outspeeds us but misses Hypnosis. We hit a Dig that doesn't quite kill it. It lands Hypnosis, and since I know Dream Eater is coming, we switch to a Bat. The Dream Eater doesn't work. Gengar misses another Hypnosis, and Bite takes it out. Finally is the last Haunter, and we kill it with a critical Bite. That's poggers. Post-edit note. It would have been smarter to get the Mint Berry in the next route and attach it to Arbok, in case Hypnosis did hit, but we didn't think about it. Oh well. Next is a Lake of Rage, and now that we can actually surf, we go in the lake and find a shiny Gyarados. Oh my gosh, it's a shame we can't catch this thing. What a killer find. Because we can't catch it, we kill it, and then we meet this guy who's talking to the signs. I've never met someone who talks to signs before, it's pretty weird. He tells us he wants help with Team Rocket, our co-workers. Since we feel like clearing out our co-workers, we go to Mahogany and clear out our co-workers. It was pretty self-explanatory, none of them are particularly tough to fight, and the executives also went down with ease. They don't understand why I'm fighting them, being part of the family. You don't fight the family, you know what I mean? But we cleared it, have ultimate mastery over Team Rocket, and that was pretty cool. Now you guys might be wondering, Mario hasn't had a death yet. Usually by now he'd have like 4 deaths or 3 deaths or something like that. Honestly, this is going too well, isn't it? Too good to be true. Is it possible that we can get through this deathless? Nope. Those freaking self-destructing electrodes caused a Sneck to get blown up. I guess it's not perfect, not a perfect run this time, but we're doing quite well besides that. A Sneck goes to its resting place. Rest in peace, you did quite well. And now we have no choice but to put a bug back on the team. And now we gotta grind it all the way to the next level cap along with everything else. This is the part of the game where, in terms of level caps, things get pretty awkward. Because the 5th gym is Chuck, with a level cap of 30, the 6th gym is Jasmine, with a level cap of 35, and the 7th gym is Price, whose level cap is level 31. So obviously the order we gotta do these in is Chuck, Price, and then Jasmine. It's the only way. As we were training a bug, we encountered Entei a couple times, and it kept running away from our bug because it's so fugly. Honestly, I'd run away from it too. During the grind, Drowsy evolves into Hypno, and a Bat evolves into Crobat once it decides it wants to be our friend. I think with all that done, we're good to take on the next 3 gyms in a row, so let's do it. Starting with Chuck, he uses a Primeape versus a Bat. One wing attack takes it out, Poliwrath is next, and a wing attack does more than half. It uses Mind Reader, and then we finish it off. Pretty easy. Price is next, and he starts with a Steel while we use Sleepy Boy. Thunder Punch does half, and then we finish it off with another one after taking barely any damage. Dugong is next, and Thunder Punch does just under half versus Headbutt that does a quarter. Next Thunder Punch is a crit, and Dugong is no more. Lucky me, eh? Finally is this grotesque pig, where we put it to sleep and Fire Punch it until it's dead. It was asleep the whole time. Price did heal it at one point, but honestly it didn't matter. That thing wasn't a fear at all. Even if it hit Blizzard, who cares? Finally is Jasmine, and Magnemite starts off against Sleepy Boy. Fire Punch burns that magnet to death. And then the next one. Pretty easy. Finally is Steelix, and Fire Punch does half. It misses Iron Tail, and another Fire Punch finishes off this boss rush. That wasn't very hard at all. It's funny with how these Team Rocket Pokemon, these grunts get tossed around like salad left, right, and all over the place, but when someone actually competent uses a Team Rocket grunt team, it actually works out. Maybe if they were smarter, Team Rocket would have actually taken over the world. Speaking of Team Rocket, we get a call from the professor saying that Team Rocket is trying to take over the region, and that their only hope is a 10-year-old Team Rocket grunt. That's funny. Anyway, so this little Team Rocket rush really isn't worth talking about. We go to the radio tower, then the underground, and the radio tower clears people out. However, there are a few notable battles I do want to bring to your attention, because they kind of matter. The first battle is this executive with the freaking exploding coughings and wheezing, and I was scared shitless. They can all explode in my face, and very inappropriately, I might add, so we need a good strategy. On the first coughing, Sleepy Boy just uses Confusion and kills it. The second Pokemon is a Wheezing, and one Confusion can't take it out, but we take a Smokescreen and the second Confusion hits. On the third one we swap to Bat, and swap back to Hypno just to get the smoke out of our eyes, take a Tackle, fortunately not a self-destruct, and proceed to sweep the team. This just goes to show you, this team I heard is very, very difficult for Nuzlockes because they can just explode and end your life. We've seen this before, this challenge, and the last challenge too, where coughing just killed one of our Pokemon. But you know, when you have a strategy, it's actually not that bad. The only other notable battle in this whole series of events was question mark, question mark, question mark. He was slightly challenging. We start with some Weed, we take a Confuse Ray, and then a Sleep Powder misses, so we switch to Crobat and take a Wing Attack. We use Fly to do over half, take another Wing Attack, and one more Fly takes it out. Magnemite is next, and we switch to Hypno, take a Thunder Wave. After a Sonic Boom, it kills it with Fire Punch. Sneasel is next, we take a Feint Attack, and Fire Punch didn't actually kill it, but did burn it. We switch to a Bug and finish it with Leech Life after taking a Screech. Next is Haunter, it uses Curse, and we use Confusion to kill it with a crit. Meganium is last, we swap to Farts, and it uses Reflect. It then uses Body Slam and paralyzes, and we respond with Sludge. Farts won't be able to handle it anymore, so we switch to a Rat into a Body Slam on the turn Reflect ends. We use Headbutt, take a Razor Leaf, and finish it off with another Headbutt. The final boss, I guess, had an interesting interaction. We started with a Farts against his Houndour, but he burns us right away, so I have to switch to Eradicate, which doesn't get burned, and we kill the Houndour and the Coughing. And then Hound Doom is last, and Strength does a lot. We take a bite and finish it off. This just showcases how one random burn could change your entire game plan. It's important to account for that, and I'm slowly learning this as I go through these challenges. Now we travel and grind to Blackthorn and take on Claire, the Dragon Gym Leader. Little scared because, we don't really have a solid strategy, but I think we do have something we can try, and I'm going for it, hopefully deathless. So first is Dragonair against Farts. Oh yeah, by the way, Farts evolved. Sorry, forgot to mention that. We take a Surf and respond with Sludge Bomb, and then it happens again for the knockout. Next is Dragonair number 2. We swap to some Weed and take a Thunder Wave. Then we take a Slam and miss a Sleep Powder. We take a Critical Slam, and then the Sleep Powder hits. We swap to a Rat, it stays asleep, and Strength doesn't even do half. Gosh. Another Strength happens, and we take a Thunder Wave. Quick Attack takes it out. Now it's time for the third Dragonair. We take an Ice Beam and get paralyzed. And take another one, and then Strength hits for half. We have to swap to Sleepy Boy, take an Ice Beam, and hit it with a Never Melt Ice boosted Ice Punch to finish it off. Finally is Kingdra. We take a Dragon Breath and miss Hypnosis. We take a Hyper Beam, almost die, and hit Hypnosis. Next is Ice Punch for a quarter. We get a crit on the next one. In case it woke up, we swapped to Crobat. It stays asleep. We use Fly. It still stays asleep. She uses the Hyper Potion before Fly connects. And then she uses Full Heal, and we had a Confuse Ray. Lucky that she full heal when she did. We use Fly, it hurts itself in Confusion. Fly lands, it hurts itself in Confusion again, and one more Wing Attack gets us the final badge. Meaningful happens until we get to Victory Road. We go into Kanto, beat up the trainers, not even the rival was worth talking about. So now we grind up to our level cap of 47 and see if we have what it takes to take on the Elite Four. Will is first, and it's Xatu versus a Rat. Did you know a Pink Bow boosted return does more damage than Shadow Ball? Well, it does. Then it kills Xatu, and then Jinx. Executor takes a return, but does nothing. We hit it again. We try ahead, but Slowbro for a flinch, but it uses Amnesia. Return doesn't quite kill it, and it boosts itself again. We finish it off, and then Final Xatu comes out, which does tank a return. We take a Psychic. He gets healed with Max Potion. Shadow Ball puts it back in the red. Notice how return did more, by the way. Regardless, we finish it off next turn. Koga's next, starts with Area Dose, we start with Hypno. Struggle Boosted Fire Punch does not quite get the job done. Heat Drain does nothing and we finish it off. Next is Fortress, who gets destroyed by Fire Punch. Then is Venomoth, who takes a Fire Punch, misses Toxic, and dies to another Fire Punch. Next is Muck. We put it to sleep with Hypnosis and use Confusion for not even half, but then it wakes up right away and uses Minimize. Always annoying. Regardless, we proceed to hit it with 2 more Confusions right away for the knockout. Finally is Crobat, who uses Double Team. We hit Ice Punch for half, uses Toxic, and we miss Ice Punch. We take a Wing Attack and miss another Ice Punch. This is taking poison damage, so this is really bad. We take another Wing Attack, miss another Ice Punch. Now we have no choice but to switch to our Crobat, take a Wing Attack, and then use Fly. It does hit in the battle as well. Bruno is next, and is always easy. First is Hitmontop, and we use a Bat, uses Quick Attack, and we use Wing Attack for the knockout, boosted by Sharp Beak. Next is Rock's Neck. We swap the Sleepy Boy, it uses Sandstorm, and we use Ice Punch to kill it in one shot. Next is Hitmonlee and use Confusion for always half. It misses Swagger, and we use another Confusion. Next is Machamp, and we switch to some Weed to take a Cross Chop with barely any damage. Then we use Sleep Powder and it hits. We hit Petal Dance for lots of damage, then Bruno heals. Eventually, it gets finished off thanks to a crit. Finally is Hitmonchan. We swap to a Bat, it takes a Fire Punch. We use Confuse Ray just in case we can't one-shot it. Hitmonchan hurts itself, and we use Wing Attack, putting it into the red, and it confuses itself, killing itself for the win. And now we have the golden pleasure to fight a Karen.
We got a Karen. We got a wild Karen here.
You know, we go into this battle hoping that the typical Karen behavior doesn't occur and nothing too annoying happens. However, that starting Umbreon is just the typical Karen activity. Just sand attacks, evasion, and all sorts of helpless nonsense. We have to switch to a bat, and then eventually take it out. Gengar is next. It uses Bite for chip damage, and it just uses Spite in response, so we fly up in the air and kill it next turn. Murkrow is next, and one fly does take care of it, proving that we are the superior flying type. Next is Hound Doom, and we do some big damage with Fly, and then take a Flamethrower. We use Wing Attack as it heals, but that does do over half, so another Wing Attack finishes it off. Finally is Vileplume, who does die to one fly, because it's grass type. So just like that, the annoying Karen is dealt with, and we can move on to the final boss. Now it's time for the champion, the guy who talks to signs. This will be a tough one, and we probably won't escape without a few deaths, but I have a schedule, and it revolves around Sleepy Boy. We start Sleepy Boy against his Gyarados. Thunder Punch almost kills it, but has a magnet for the Charizard and Aerodactyl, so I'm super surprised it lived. He uses Rain Dance, and then we just knock it out next turn. Next is Dragonite number 1. Ice Punch was supposed to kill it in one shot, but I must have miscalculated and I left it with a sliver. But we did get the freeze, so we can finish it off, but this is a serious problem. Now is Dragonite number 2. Ice Punch barely kills it once again, and we get paralyzed with Thunder Wave. We take a Hyper Beam for almost half and finish off the Dragonite. Next is Aerodactyl, and it uses Ancient Power, getting the Omni Boost. Well, damn. We use Ice Punch for not even half, and then get beat by Ancient Power. Rest in peace, Sleepy Boy. Now we swap to some Weed and take a Wing Attack and try Sleep Powder, which connects. Next we use Petal Dance, and it stays asleep so we can finish it off. Charizard is up next. We don't have a safe switch, and Vileplume won't be able to help anymore, so I let it take the fall to fire, and after its sacrifice, we take out Crobat. We start with Confuse Ray, and we took a Flamethrower. Next we fly, and it shakes off the confusion. Fly does over half, and we take another Flamethrower. One more fly takes out Charizard. And now it's time for the final Dragonite. A bat uses Confuse Ray, and it wasn't affected, taking out a bat with an Outrage. We have no other choice, we have to take out a bug. We use Sleep Powder, and it hits. Then Lance eventually uses a full restore to heal the sleep, and Psybeam does very little. Next, another Sleep Powder hits, thankfully. Then he uses a full heal to wake up Dragonite. Why didn't he use the first full heal over the full restore? Oh well. We hit another Psybeam, then we hit a third Sleep Powder in a row. Amazing! We hit Psybeam, and then another Psybeam, and then another Psybeam, and Dragonite's still snoozing. Another Psybeam brings it to a sliver, and he's still sleeping. One more Psybeam takes the win over the champion, thanks to a bug. Yep. Hope you guys enjoyed this challenge. I really enjoyed this playthrough of Pokemon Crystal, and doing it as a Team Rocket Grunt, which is something different, playing as a different trainer species altogether. I don't mind doing more of these in other Pokemon games. If you guys want to see stuff like that, let me know in the comments. Go ahead and like the video, comment, let me know what you think, subscribe for more of this amazing content, and don't forget we are streaming Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl over on Twitch, so come say hello. With that out of the way, it's time to go. See you later. Take care.